Julie. So let's talk about feedback and revision. So recently I've been posting things on your blog. You've been sending me stuff to post on it, and we've had a few of your students actually have their work uploaded to the blog or the books that they've made and created. And you forwarded me an email like about 2 days ago, I think, of one particular student and how they felt like they, misused a word and they wanted to upload a revised book to the website. So can you walk me through the feedback and revision process that you had with that student?
Great. Just before we do that, I'll just explain the book a little bit. So I really love this book so much. It's a jumping off. I think the student used my Kimchi is for Everyone book as a jumping off point to then make her own, which is called Baozi is for Everyone, Baozi being dumpling. So first of all, you can tell that this is something that she's heavily invested in. She loves, she's interested in. So it is a book that, as I said in other sessions, that brings their funds of knowledge and funds of identity front and center. Okay, so that's great. And that's why there is an investment. And I just want to pause on that for a second, because I think sometimes we, as teachers, we're just thinking about motivation, how to motivate our learners. But I'm thinking a little bit more about motivation seems really big to me. I'm thinking more about what students are willing to invest their time in.
It's so true though. You think about money, right? You can be motivated to make money, but until you're invested in the actual act of doing it, you're not going to do anything.
Oh, that's such a great example, actually. Yeah. So then you get a task and then you're interested in it. And then you put in all this time and then you get invested in it. Okay. So it's clear that the student went through that. When she gave me her book and I saw it inside her assignment, first of all, she drew all the images, which is absolutely beautiful. And that's another thing I want to say. When you only see students write written work, you can't see their whole meaning-making self. If I never opened up this space for the students, I would have never known how talented these students are and how great they are in expressing themselves through their books, through other modes. Okay, so that's one thing. So after all of this, I interviewed her. She said that she would be very happy for me to put it up on my blog site. And then I asked you to help me make it into a nice flip book so that we could share it with the whole world. So that's great. And then a couple of days afterwards, so we thought we were just all done. She was very happy. She emailed me and she said, I actually used one word incorrectly. That page where it says messy. I'm afraid that I misused the word messy on page 5. So I replaced it into tacky, which I hope will be better. Okay. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And so changing it is not a problem, as you know, but I wanted to write back to her, and I'm just going to read my part, right? So I want to write back to her, and this is the feedback. Okay, so so let's think about this a bit, going back to audience and purpose. Who is your intended audience? And this will help you to make some decisions about which word to choose, or maybe you need to consider a new word. Note, I did not tell her, you have to use this word or that word, or here's the right answer. I have to open this up for her by thinking about the concepts of audience and purpose. Okay, so how do I explain this? Tacky, in the context of dough, means slightly sticky to the touch, but not wet or gooey. It's actually a common baking term for the ideal texture of dough that's been properly mixed, so this would be appropriate. Messy is more about visual appearance. It suggests disorganization, perhaps lumps, flour everywhere, etc. So you're right. It isn't really the right word for dough texture. However, for a children's picture book aimed at young readers and potentially multilingual learners or readers, tacky might be confusing because it has those multiple meanings, universally understood by children and, of course, appropriate to adults. That has multiple meanings, sticky versus cheap. So to keep it accessible to anyone, you might want to consider sticky. It's universally understood by children and, of course, appropriate to adults. And it describes the actual tactile experience and matches what happens when you mix flour and water. Shaggy is another option to describe how it looks rather than feels. It's a common baking term for dough that's just come together but isn't smooth yet. And it connects nicely to the cloud imagery you're building. But again, I'm not sure if everyone understands this word. But if you want to use the word to help people learn new verbs, for instance, it might be good to try to use such words to help readers expand their knowledge. So this is why audience and purpose really matters when it comes to language use. Now, tell me, in that thing that I have given her feedback on, what is the manner in which I have given this feedback?
You've just made suggestions and you've asked her to really think carefully about the affordance of each word or what it will show. And you've left really the decision-making with her, but you've given her pointers to be cognizant of.
Yeah.
And as I was reading this, I just thought, man, one word. It only takes one word.
One word.
Or that can change the whole meaning of what you mean and coherence, right? Like somebody's ability to understand you. Because I was thinking, tacky, yeah, I often think of that as sticky, but I know exactly the process of, when you play with dough and that feeling of, you want to combine, but just not combine just yet. Yeah, I'm not. I'm sure I'll find out what she ended up, meaning. But yeah, to me, I was just like, wow, there are so many words out there that can
that's right.
help you express things. But you wouldn't know that if you didn't have the opportunity to revise that and to receive feedback
Correct.
on the affordances of that.
And so this is just one thing, right?
So what did she eventually go with?
Okay, so first of all, she gets the explanation and she has the concepts that she needs to think about. So that's the nature of the feedback I think that our students need, that I think is quality. That's quality feedback, not more words. It's like there's the explanation, there's the key concept. Oh, that's what I was missing. All right, now. So then she comes back and she says, thanks for your suggestion. Your suggestion has made me realize the importance of considering the potential audience as a fundamental principle for language use. Okay, so now she's making the decision. Compared with sticky, I think shaggy is a better word, or it vividly describes the initial stage right after adding water into the flour and stirring, while sticky fits the kneading stage when the dough becomes sticky to the touch. As you mentioned, readers can also learn a new word and they can infer its meaning from the context. Thank you again for this practical advice. Really enjoy our discussions. Shall I replace this messy with shaggy? Okay, so the thing is, the student hasn't just said, oh,
You, my teacher, you said this, just like pick that.
She's actually gives me an explanation for why it's a better word. Okay, so that's quality, response that makes me think, oh, this feedback, it was really good for her. Okay, so I say yes. We can. Send me the changes, and I'll upload it, and even say we should save this little exchange so we use it somewhere, which we're doing now. To talk to people about how making books helps people not only learn language but about language, because we're learning now. Not just a new word, but we're learning, with language, you have to think about audience and purpose. Ooh, such a great example, right? But then she writes back and she says, yes, that's a good idea. And I also realized that this was a great example of language usage while comparing the two words. Okay, end of discussion. But I just think it goes to show you, for all of the things that we do, how much time do we actually spend as teachers? And I give feedback, and I'm obsessive, as you know, and I point out all kinds of things like punctuation and so which.
Yeah, a comma on my APA referencing.
It's probably not the best thing to be using my time for, but I just can't. Anyway,
but it's important.
But real quality.
Yeah.
It's about meaning. Like, I'm trying to help you to learn through the feedback. I'm not just asking you to just do it.
And I think the point is, when you see all of these episodes collectively of everything that we've spoken about voice, register, genre, about stance, and about, your understanding of who you are, your knowledge of grammar, of language, it all comes to play. It's all called into question in a moment where somebody has to read it and make sense of your work. And feedback and revision is the only way that you can make it better.
That's it. How would you have known?
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you are the person who has a little bit more knowledge than the other person, then the way to share it is not like by talking at students. You do this and this is the right one or the wrong one. Help them to understand the meaning and give them an opportunity to make some decisions for themselves and ask them, why have you made those decisions? And that's the process of the learning that sticks into your body. And that's what they're going to remember next time they're going to be, making dough. That's what they're going to remember.